Hi guys, this is Dalamar Continue, and to this video we're going to discuss about Introduction to Computers and Programming. So in this lesson we will describe about the basic components of a computer as well as the basic technique for designing and writing a program. So what is a program? So a program, a set of instructions for a computer to follow. Ibig sabihin, yun yung ating mga instruction or utos na sinusunod ng ating computer. Then we have software. So si software, yung collection of programs used by a computer. Then we have hardware, the actual physical machines that make up a computer installation. So hardware represents the physical and tangible components of a computer. So example, the components that can be seen and touched, yun yung ating mga mouse, keyboard, monitor, at saka iba pa. As long as nakikita natin at nahahawakan. Then we also have three main classes of computers. First, yung PC or personal computer. Then we have workstations at saka yung mainframes. So, what is personal computer or PC? So, it's a relatively small computer designed to be used by one person at a time. So, most home computers are PC. So, kadalasan yun yung gamit natin sa bahay. But PCs are also widely used in business, sa negosyo, mga industriya, at saka yung siyensa or science. So, yun yung kadalasan natin ginagamit kasi siya maliit lang at saka mura. Then, we have our personal computer is also called microcomputer. So, are the smallest and least expensive category of general-purpose computers. They are typically used in businesses and at home to communicate on other networks, for word processing, to track finances, and for entertainment. So, again, yung personal computer, yung commonly natin nakikita or ginagamit natin yung personal computer or PC or microcomputer. So, microcomputer can be classified into two types. We have first, yung desktop computer, yung kadalasan makikita natin sa mga internet shop. Yung may monitor, nakaseparate parang inassemble mo na lang, no? Ito yung monitor, yung ating system unit, then mouse, saka keyboard. So, desktop computer sa personal or microcomputer sufficient to fit on the desk. So, nilalagay siya sa lamesa. So, kaya tinawag siyang desktop computer. Then, portable. So, the difference of portables can be used while traveling, whereas desktop computers cannot be carried around. So, yung advantage kasi ni portable is nadadala natin kahit saan, napapasok natin sa bag or kahit nasa bukid tayo, walang kuryente, nagagamit natin kasi may battery. Compare sa ating desktop, which is malaki siya, saka hirap natin i-travel kasi kailangan pa rin natin i-plug sa may kuryente or source ng electricity at saka mabigat siya kasi malaki, hindi natin makasya sa bag, isang bag lang. So, tapos, yung kasi portable computer is madaling dalhin kahit saan, kahit nasa bus ka, pwede kang gumamit. Kumpara sa desktop na sa table ka lang or yung mga pwede mong lagyan na dapat may source of electricity ka. Kasi sa portable, may built-in battery siya. Then, the different portable computers are first, yung laptop, number one laptop, yung mga ginagamit natin or inyo. Then, notebooks. Then, palm top, yung mga handheld. And also, yung smartphones and tablets. So, yun yung ating mga ginagamit ngayon. Kasi, kung laptop, mas malaki. Kumpara yung ating smartphone na, madali lang gamitin. Tsaka yung tablet. So, Facebook lang pwede tayong gamit sa smartphone at tsaka yung tablet. Then, other wearable computers, yung mga nakikita natin dito sa nilalagay sa yung wristwatch natin, yung parang relo lang, pwede mag-monitor ng ating blood pressure at saka yung sa sugar at saka ibang mga function niya, yung mga sinusuot sa ating katawan, yung mga wearable computers. So, again, ito yung five na klase or different portable computers na so, laptop, notebooks, palm top, smartphones, and tablets, wearable computer. So, and so much more. So, marami pang mga portable computer. So, as long as, easy to travel, hindi yung kagaya ni desktop, no? Then, workstation. So, is essentially a larger and more powerful than personal computer. No? Powerful personal computer. So, mas malaki siya and more powerful personal computer. So, yung ating regular na personal computer, kapag naging mas malaki siya at saka naging mas powerful, ang tawag sa kanya is workstation. You can think of it as industrial strength PC. So yung nakikita natin sa mas malalaking kumpanya or yung may mga may mga big operation ng mga industry. Then workstation are similar to personal computers but having greater memory, more extensive mathematical abilities, and they are connected to other workstation or personal computers to exchange data. Again, mas malaki siya, larger than personal computer, at saka mas powerful. Yun yung ating workstations. Then workstation are used for tasks that require a great deal of number crunching power, such as a product design and computer animation. Kaya yung mas more powerful siya kumpara sa ating personal computer. So like personal computers, most workstations are single user computers. So however, workstations are typically linked together to form a local area network. So naka-network siya, although they can also be used as standalone systems or hindi siya naka-network. So application ng workstation, so apply siya sa engineering applications, paggamit ng CAD, CAM, desktop publishing, software development, and other types of application that require moderate amount of computing power and relatively high-quality graphics and capabilities. So, ito yung ating sample. So, kung ma-imagine nyo, parang nasa call center tayo, no? So, pero pwede na gamitin natin yung ating personal computer kung yung mga task is yun lang, yung basic lang, hindi yung pang sobrang mga laki animation. So, as you can see, parang, nasa yung call center, room, no? Sa mga call center agent. So, dito nagtatrabaho. So, yun yung sample natin ng workstation. So, we go to mainframe. So, it's an even larger computer that typically requires some support staff and generally is shared by more than one user. So, the distinction between PCs, workstation, and mainframes are not precise. So, but terms are commonly used to convey some very general information about a computer. So, mainframe had more memory, speed, and capabilities and are usually shared by multiple users through a series of interconnected computers. So, yung ating mainframe computer is multiple users. So, marami ang pwedeng gumamit kumpara sa ating personal computer. At saka, more memory, speed, at saka capability. So, mas mataas yung mga features na at saka yung kaya niya. So, capable of supporting hundreds or even thousands of users simultaneously. In some ways, mainframes are more powerful than supercomputers. So, kung alam niyo yung supercomputers, yan yung pinaka-powerful na computer. So, yan yung ginagamit sa mga NASA, yung mga military, yung mga pag-detect ng bagyo, or yung mga kailangan ng grabing power sa pag-solve ng mga mathematical problems or mga formula or equation. So, supercomputers, because they support more simultaneous programs, but supercomputers can execute a single program faster than mainframe. So, application ng mainframe computer natin, we have government, civilian, credit card processing, mga bangko, marketing, business data processing in large organization, air traffic control, system, industrial design. So again, pwedeng gumamit ng PC kasi depende yan sa company kung yung nagtitipid sila or yung mga work nila is kaya lang ng mga normal na mga PC. Again, kung gusto nilang mag-upgrade yung mga advanced na mga trabaho is mag-upgrade sila sa mga mas powerful na mga computer. So we have here sample, naka-network siya kasi multiple users. So, isang isang server lang, maraming pwedeng gumamit. Then, what is network? So, consists of a number of computers connected. So they may share resources such as printers and may share information. So, a network might contain a number of workstations and one or more mainframes as well as shared devices such as printers. So, yung network is yung connection ng ating mga computer. So, kagaya sa mga, kung napapansin nyo sa mga computer shop. So, dito ka gumagamit, sa client ka gumagamit, pero kaya mong mag-print doon sa kabila, no? Kasi, naka-network, naka-connect yun, or naka-connect yun, naka-share yung printer sa network mo. So, kaya mong i-access yung printer kahit nasa kabila siyang linya. No? Or, pwede ka mag-share from client A to, gusto mo i-share mo to client B kasi naka-connect sila. So, naka-network. So, network. So, computers connected. So, they may share resources such as printers or mga file or any other form of information. So, what is internet? So, we have network. So, what is internet? So, internet is a larger scale ng network. So, it is a global wide area network that connects computer systems across the world. So, it is a network of networks, basta buhol-buhol na or parang sa spider web na may spider web. So, interconnection of networks across the world. So, yun yung, dito ka sa Philippines, pwede mo ma-access yung file niya doon sa, or makikita mo yung file niya, available, makikita mo, ma-access mo from, example, Philippines to ibang bansa. So, kaya mo i-access. So, kasi network yan. So, it is yung internet natin internet or yung interconnection of networks ng ating mga computers or mga business organizations or any other computer facilities. Then, main components of a computer. So, the computer can be thought of as having 5 main components. So, input devices, output devices, processor, yung CPU natin or Central Processing Unit, yung brain ng computer, then the main memory, at saka yung ating secondary memory. So, the processor, main memory, and secondary memory are normally housed in a single cabinet. So, kung mapapansin nyo, kapag pumunta ka sa isang internet shop or kung naka-open lang yung mga components niya, is makikita mo parang tower dun. Yung sinasabi ng mga tao na CPU, which is hindi dapat tinatawag CPU kasi yung CPU is or Central Processing Unit is nasa loob ng yung system unit natin, yung case niya, yung parang tower, no? Yun yung ating system unit. So, nahahouse niya or nasa loob niya yung ating processor, main memory at saka secondary memory. So, the processor and the main memory form the heart of a computer and can be thought as an integrated unit. So, the other components connects to the main memory and operate under direction of the processor. So, we have the main components of computer. So, input natin. So, yung ating mga input device, mga mouse, at saka yung keyboard. Then, main memory, yung ating RAM. Then, secondary memory, yung ating hard drive. Then, processor natin, yung ating sa CPU. Then, yung output device natin, paglabas. So, input tayo ng data, process natin, save natin. Then, ang labas, yung output na information using, yung output device natin? Yung ating monitor at saka yung speaker. So, mostly, ang pinaka-common is yung ating monitor or LCD. Siya yung nagdi-display ng mga text or graphics natin. So, then also sa speaker, form of sounds at saka yung printer na nagpiprint siya ng ating information nilalabas na sa papel, no? Printed. So, again, yung input, mouse, keyboard, mga example lang yan, ha? Then, we have output, yung ating monitor, printer, speaker, and so much more. So, input device is any device that allows a person to communicate information to the computer. So, person communicate information to the computer. So, ibig sabihin, from user to computer. Yung from dito sa user na side, papuntang computer. Then, the primary input device are keyboard at saka mouse. Yung keyboard, parang typewriter lang yan. Diyan ka magta-type ng mga characters. No? So, sa keyboard, o sa mouse, yun yung ating parang kamay sa loob ng computer. Then, output device is anything that allows the computer, binaliktad computer to communicate sa user. So, yung computer naman na mag-communicate sa atin. So, kaya yung mga example natin na output device is yung ating display screen or referred to as monitor. So, dinidisplay ng monitor yung mga text or graphics na dapat nating makita from computer to user. So, yun yung ating output device. So, na printer for producing output on paper. So, si printer or kung sa speaker, yung sound siya yung pinoproduce niya. Then, how the computer works? So, paano ba nag-work yung computer? So, the computer performs the 4 basic functions. Namely, input, yung ating, under niya yung input device natin. So, pasok natin, then ipaprocess natin yung data. So, input tayo ng data, process natin, then store natin. Sa storage, nandun yung ating main memory, then yung ating secondary memory. Then, once gusto pa natin edit, process natin ulit, then, vice versa yan, then, output natin, display natin yung information, process data. So, yung labas niya is any form. So, depende kung it's form ba siya sounds or audio or nakalabas siya sa monitor or depende. So, output, yung sa ating output device, yung mga monitor display na nila. Input tayo ng data, process natin, storage, vice versa, process. Then, output natin using output device. So, input, process, then storage, then process naman or depende, balik-balik siya. Then, output natin using the output device. So, what is operating system? So, most of us or yung may mga computer, narinig nyo ang operating system. So, even sa mga smartphone, marinig natin operating system, OS. So, what is OS? So, OS allocates the computer's resources to the different tasks that the computer must accomplish. So, yung nagmamanage kung ano yung mga tasks na ibibigay niya sa computer o anong gagawin niya na manage yung ating mga tasks. So, the operating system is actually a program. So, take note, a program. So, ang program is a program, a set of instructions na nagtatel kung ano yung gagawin ni computer. So, but it perhaps better to think of as a chief servant. So, isipin natin yung si program is servant, then yung ating operating system is yung chief servant o yan yung ating punong servante. So, siya yung ating leader ng mga servants. So, siya yung nagcha-charge of all other servants, siya yung mga programs, so siya yung nagbibigay ng mga tasks. O ito, gawin mo to, sabi ni user, ito. So it delivers your request to them. So yung nagmamanage, nagbibigay, nagdi-distribute ng mga tasks na dapat i-accomplish nila na gusto ni user. Then, if you want to run a program, you tell the OS or operating system the name of the file that contains it and the OS runs the program. So if you want to edit a file, you tell the OS the name of the file and start up the editor to work on that file. So example, mag-click tayo ng program, double-click natin, open natin, automatic sa computer sa OS magtitel na, oy, i-open mo to kasi clinic ka ni user to. So parang ganun yun. Then some common operating systems are Unix, DOS or disk operating system, then Linux, then yung pinaka-common natin nakikita, Windows operating system. Meron tayong pinakasikat, yung Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, yung ating Windows 10. Pero yung mga kadalas ginagamit, Windows 7, kahit hindi na sinusupport ngayon ni Microsoft, at saka yung ating Windows 10. Then we have Mac OS kung may pera. Mac OS, so parang counterpart to ni, or opposite ni. So, si Windows, kadalasan nakikita natin yung sa mga common na mga computers. Itong si Mac, isa Apple company to, Mac OS. Then, iOS, so, si iOS is, same family sa Mac OS. So, si iOS para siya sa mga iPhone. So, si Mac OS para siya sa mga Mac PC. No? Then, we have Android. So, si Android is yung mga common nating nakikita ng mga operating systems, yung mga sa common smartphone natin. So, kadalasan yung ating Samsung, yung Oppo, yung operating system nila is Android. So, may mga version yung mga Android, mga KitKat, Jelly Bean. So, depende kung anong version ng Android yung gamit mo, yung operating system ng device mo. At also, meron din tayong operating system ng Windows para sa phone nila, yung sa Windows phone nila. Pero yung pinaka-common natin ginagamit is yung Windows, then Android, at saka yung Mac kapag may Mac PC gamit mo, or yung ating iPhone, yung iOS. Pero mostly, ang may pinakamalaking percentage is yung, kung sa smartphone, yung Android, kasi mas mura siya. Then, yung sa mga desktop is Windows. Then, let's proceed to high-level languages. So, ano yung high-level language? So, yung ating subject is C++. So C++ is a high-level language. So, as are most of the other programming languages you are likely to have heard of. So, kung narinig nyo yung C, C#, Java, Python, PHP, Pascal, Visual Basic, Fortran, COBOL, Lisp, Sim, Ada, and so much more. Yun yung mga kung may narinig na kayo or may background na kayo sa programming. So, high-level language, so, resemble human languages in many ways. So, sa high-level language, nire-resemble niya yung human languages in many ways. So, they are designed to be easy for human beings to write. Again, easy for human beings to write programs in and easy for human beings to read. So, madali lang nating isulat yung program at saka madali nating basahin. So, yan yung say high-level language. So, kung may high-level language tayo, meron din tayong low-level language. So, the kind of language a computer can understand. The exact detail of low-level language differ from one kind to computer to another. So, yung mga ibang computer is ibang low-level language yung gamit nila. So, a typical low-level instruction might be the following. So, add XYZ. So, ano ba ibig sabihin add XYZ? So, this instruction mean add the number and memory called X, location called X, to the number and memory location called Y. Then, place the result and the memory location called Z. So, medyo mahirap siyang itinig. Add XYZ. Kung, para sa human language natin, parang gusto mong i-add lahat ng XYZ. Pero, yung sa explanation nito is, i-add mo yung X plus Y, then i-place mo yung result niya sa memory location called Z. So, the sample instruction is written sa assembly language. So, assembly language is a low-level language. So, although assembly language is almost the same as the language understood by the computer, it must undergo one simple translation before the computer can understand. So, need muna i-translate bago maintindihan talaga ni computer. So, in order to get a computer to follow an assembly language instruction, the words must need to be translated into strings of zeros and ones. So, binary numbers. So, 0 and 1, or upan natin sa switch na on and off lang yung value. So, dalawa lang value. It's either 0 or 1. Then, for example, the word add might translate to 0110, yung add. Then, X might translate it to 1001. Then, Y, yung 10, 10. Then, and Z is to 1011. So, the version of the instruction above that the computer will ultimately follows would then be, so ito yung resulta kapag translate yung ating assembly language, yung add XYZ, translate natin to zeros and ones, ito yung resulta natin. So, medyo mahirap lang siyang intindihin kumpara sa high-level language, which is easy para sa human basahin at saka gawin. O, i-write. Easy to write and easy to read. So, machine language. So, we have talked about yung low-level language. Under niya, meron tayong assembly at saka yung machine language. So, programs written in forms of zeros and ones. So, kung kanina, yung assembly language is medyo nababasa pa natin ng konti, or natin ng konti, itong zeros and ones, ito yung machine language. So, translated na siya. So, automatic siya yung naintindihan ni computer. So, programs written in form of zeros and ones are said to be written in machine language. So, because that is the version of the program that the computer or the machine actually reads and follows. So, ano yung language na naintindihan ni computer is yung, to be exact, yung machine language. So, assembly language and machine language are almost the same thing. The distinction between them, di na nato istoryahan, no? So, we'll not talk yung mas deeper sa ating assembly language at saka machine language. So, the important distinction is that between machine language and high-level language is like sa C++, so any high-level language program must be translated. Take note guys, translated muna bago maintindihan ni computer. So, translate muna natin sa high-level language into machine level, yung machine language or low-level language siya, yun yung naintindihan ni computer. Translated into machine language before the computer can understand and follows the program. Then, compilers. So, a program that translates a high level, so siya yung magta-translate ng ating C++ program. So, translate na yung ating high-level language to machine language. So, program that translates a high-level language like C++ to a machine language is called a compiler. So, its input or data is some other program and its output is yet another program. So, to avoid confusion, the input program is usually called the source program or yung source code, which is maintindihan nyo kapag nagpo-program na kayo. The untranslated version to produce by the compiler is called yung object program natin or object code. So, ang ating input is yung source code natin, then output niya is yung ating object code or yung ating object program. So, the word code is frequently used to mean a program or a part of a program. So, take note, it may be part of a program, maybe the program or part of the program. So, and this usage is particularly common when referring to object programs. Then, a compiler is a program that translates a high-level language program such as simple programming into machine language program that the computer can directly understand and execute. So, again, kailangan natin sa compiler para matranslate natin yung ating high-level language, example, rating sa C++, translate natin yung using compiler para maging machine language siya, which is naiintindihan na ni computer. So, para sa kung basta tao na Pilipino ako, high-level language, Filipino, then yung aking computer yung ibang lingwahe, ibang tao na hindi naiintindihan yung Pilipino, then yung ating translator is yung ating compiler. So, linking. So, the object code for your C++ program must be combined with object code for routines, so such as input and output routines. So, that the program uses. So, the process of combining object code is called linking, and yung program na gagamitin is yung linker. So, for simple programs, linking may be done for you automatically. Yung ibang mga program, automatic na ginagawa yung linking. So, ito yung diagram natin. So, C++ program natin, yung source code natin, then compiler, then object code for C++ program, then maglilink siya ng mga object routines, yung mga routines, object code. So, using linker, then yung complete machine language code ready to run yung nagbabasa ni computer. So, programming and problem solving. So, who is Charles Babbage? So, Charles Babbage, sa hindi nakakaalam, siya yung father of computing. So, direct to the point na tayo. So, si Charles Babbage, yung father of computer or the father of computing. So, he's an English mathematician and physical scientist, designed the first truly programmable computer analytical engine, although he never completed, hindi niya natapos yung analytical engine, iba na yung nagtapos. So, pero si Charles Babbage yung nag-design ng analytical engine, kaya lang hindi niya natapos yung pag-construct. So, pero yung design niya is yung naging basic framework, or it was the conceptual milestone in history of computing. So, it was designed, the basic framework of the computers of today are based on. So, yung design niya, yung basehan ng mga computer ngayon. So, ito po si Charles Babbage, ito po yung dinesign niya, yung analytical engine. So, ito yung design niya, ito yung natapos. So, again, Charles Babbage, yung the father of computing or father of computer. Then, we have Augusta Ada Byron, or yung iba, Augusta Ada King, kasi yung husband niya is King. King yung pilido. Augusta Ada King or Augusta Ada Byron. So, the Countess of Lovelace and the daughter of the poet Byron. So, also known as Ada Lovelace, and given the title of the first programmer, computer programmer, no? So, kung si Charles Babbage yung sinasabing the father of computing o father of computer, si Ada Lovelace or si Augusta Ada Byron yung sinasabing first computer programmer. So, siya yung first programmer. Babae siya. The programming language Ada is named in her honor. So, ito po si Augusta or si Ada Augusta. So, ito po yung ating first computer programmer. So, babae po. So, hindi porkit babae ka, hindi ka magaling sa programming. So, equal lang po tayo lahat kasi, alam mo, nakikita natin dito, so, babae yung first programmer, hindi lalaki. So, algorithms. So, a sequence of precise instruction which leads to solution is called an algorithm or set of instructions. Again, yung algorithm, yung sequence of instruction, yung parang step by step na kung ano yung gagawin natin. So, a sequence of precise instruction which leads to solutions. Again, is called algorithm. Then, some approximately equivalent words are recipe, method, direction, procedure, and routine. So, yung mga step-by-step instruction natin. Kung paano isolve ang certain problem or task. So, yun yung ating algorithm. So, a computer program is simply an algorithm expressed in language that a computer can understand. So, again, yung program, set of instructions that tells the computer what to do. So, computer program is simply an algorithm. Yung mga instruction, set of instruction is called algorithm. So, again, computer program is simply an algorithm which is a set of instruction expressed in language that a computer can understand. So, thus, the term algorithm is more general than the term program. So, however, when we say that a sequence of instruction is an algorithm, we usually mean that the instructions are expressed in English. So, since if they are expressed in programming language, we use the more specific term program. So, kung yung mga kung ang discussion is about sa English or hindi sa programming, most usually yung ating algorithm is sa English. Pero kapag yung ating topic or discussion or yung atmosphere niya is sa programming or more technology related sa technology, usually ang mean niya is yung ating program. So, since if they are expressed in programming language, we would use the more specific term program. So, an example may help to clarify the concept. So, ganun yun. So, kapag yung topic nyo or more on mga English o mga literature lang, so, mostly yung algorithm means yun yung mga instruction, mga procedure, steps, yung mga sa recipe, yung kanina, yung mga other term ng algorithms. Pero kung nasa world of technology ka, yung nasa programming or sa mga tech, mostly yung algorithms is sa program. So, algorithm expressed in English. So, ito yung ating sample. An algorithm nasa English. So, algorithm that determines how many times a name occurs in the list of names. So, paano ba daw natin ma-determine how many names a name occurs in a list? So, ito yung step. So, ito yung step-by-step instruction kung paano natin ma-determine kung how many times o ilang beses nagpabalik-balik yung pangalan ng tao. So, first step natin is get the list of names. So, kunin lahat natin ng pangalan. Then, get the name being checked. So, kunin natin yung check natin, hanapin natin isa-isa. Then, set the counter to 0. So, magtali tayo kung ilang beses na lumabas si Juan or si Pedro. No? Do the following for each name of the list. Compare the name of the list to the name being checked. And if the names are the same, then add 1 to the counter. Parang pag nakita mo to, okay, 1. Pag nakita mo to, 1. O parang nag-a-add lang tayo every time na makita natin yung name natin na hinahanap. Then announce that the answer is the number indicated by the counter. So yung si counter, yun yung how many times yung isang certain name na or pabalik-balik sa listahan. So algorithm, the word algorithm has a long history. It derives from the name Al-Khwarizmi. So a 9th century Persian mathematician and astronomer. So galing yung word na algorithm kay Al-Khwarizmi. No? Alright, so program design. So we talk about program. So paano mag-design ng program? So designing a program is often a difficult task. So depende. Yung iba kasi nadali lang kasi mas naintindihan yung program. Yung iba, di nila nahihirapan talaga sila kasi di nila fully naintindihan ano ba yung program o how the computer works. Kasi kung alam mo yung mga bagay na yun, mas madali ka lang gumawa ng program or at saka kung mas passion mo yung programming. So, there is no complete set of rules, no algorithm to tell you how to write program. So, walang algorithm or walang mga rules. So, yung iba, pag computer program or yung iba, pumapalo muna sila ng mga certain mga steps bago sila mag-program, o yung iba, nag-aaral muna sila bago mag-program, o yung iba, self-tutorial, self-learning lang. Then, this is our diagram ng program design process. So, first phase natin is yung problem solving phase. So, bakit tayo gagawa ng program? So, because we want to solve a certain problem or we want to solve a task or we want to do something. We want to tell the computer. So, start. So, problem definition. Ano yung problema? So, i-define natin yan. Then, algorithm design. Ay yung mga step-by-step instruction para ma-accomplish natin yung ating gusto or para ma-solve natin yung ating problem. Then, desktop testing. Then, pagkatapos niyan, pupunta na tayo sa implementation phase. So, sa implementation phase is, itatranslate na natin yung ating algorithm, yung ating naka-English na, first, go to this point. So, itatranslate natin yung ating algorithm, yung set of instruction, to C++ program. So, i-code na natin yan, ipo-program. Then, itetesting natin kung okay ba, na-solve ba yung ating problema, or kung hindi, balik naman tayo sa pag-translate, or ulit-ulit lang yan. So, until okay na yung working program, lalabas na siya. No? So, again, we have problem-solving phase, then implementation phase. So, the entire program design process can be divided into two phases. The problem-solving phase, then the implementation phase. So, the result of the problem-solving phase is an algorithm expressed in English. In English form yung mga step na list the names, yung kagaya yung kanina. So, for solving the problem. To produce a program in a programming language such as C++, the algorithm is translated. So, yun yung ating translating to C++. Then, the algorithm is translated into programming language. Then, producing the final program from algorithm is called implementation phase. So, una, define muna natin ano yung problema na gusto nating solve. Then, gawa tayo ng set of instructions. Paano natin ma-accomplish yung algorithm design natin. Pag okay na, then, punta tayo sa translating of ating algorithm to C++. Then the first step is to be certain that the task what you want to do is completely and precisely specified. So do not take this step lightly if you do not know exactly what you want as the output of your program. So kung hindi mo alam yung gusto mo, so parang nag-experiment ka lang. So mas mabuti na sundin yung step by step yung procedure, steps natin na first ano ba yung problema na gusto nating isolve, or ano ba yung gusto mong gawing program. So, dapat ma-define natin yan. So, exactly that you want to output. Do not take this step lightly if you do not know exactly what you want as the output of your program. You may be surprised at what your program produces. So, be certain that you know that the input of the program will be exactly what information is supposed to be in output, as well as what form the information should be in. So, dapat muna mag-planning tayo. Huwag muna diretso program na hindi mo alam yung output o hindi mo kalabasan. Pero kung magaling ka na nasa utak mo na ito yung gusto ko. Pero kapag baguhan ka pa, mas mabuting i-follow mo muna magplano para sigurado. Planuhin mo muna ano yung gagawin, ano yung problema na dapat mo accomplish, ano yung mga requirements, ano yung gagawin mo, then translate mo para makaproduce ka ng tama. No? So, ano yung kailangan ko? So, input ko dapat number lang, so hindi pwede letters, para yung output mo is eksakto sa gusto mo. So, sabi nga nila na, kung tama yung input, tama yung paggawa, tama din yung output. Pero kung mali yung paggawa, mali yung pagkaplano, mali yung output. So, for example, if the program is a bank accounting program, you must know not only the interest rate, but also whether interest is to be compounded annually, monthly, daily, or whatever. So, if the program is supposed to write poetry, you need to determine whether the poems can be free verse or mas. So, dapat alamin muna natin yung mga kailangan nating alamin. Huwag tayong padalos-dalos para mas okay or mas tama yung ma-produce nating program. So, ano mga dapat nating gawin, dapat nating i-consider o alang-alang para sa paggawa ng ating problem o paggawa nating program na para ma-solve yung ating problema or yung gusto nating i-accomplish. So, ito yung software life cycle. So, first, yung analysis and specifications of task or problem definition. So, kagaya ng ating sa problem, yung kanina, ito, yung ating problem solving phase. So, problem definition, kagaya nito. So, yung una is i-analyze natin, i-list natin, ano yung mga gagawin natin, ano yung problema. Bakit natin gagawa, bakit tayo gagawa ng program, ano yung mga dapat nating gawin, dapat nating isaalang-alang. Then, pangalawa, design of the software, object and algorithm design. So, yun yung magde-design na tayo ng algorithm. So, step-by-step instruction. Paano natin ma-accomplish yung certain problem natin. Then, implementation, coding, or yung kanina, yan, nasa implementation phase na tayo. Yan yung pag-translate ng ating example, C++ program, from English, yung ating algorithm, translate natin to C++ program. So, kagaya kanina, ito. So, translate natin. So, nandito na tayo. So, ito yung ating algorithm design. Ito yung ating first, then second, then ito, third natin. Implementation. Then, we have testing. Ito-test natin yan kung may bug ba, may error, may mali sa ginawa natin. Paulit-ulit natin until makuha natin yung tama. So, dito na tayo sa testing. So, kung okay na, labas na natin yung ating program. So, dyan yung papasok yung maintenance. So, kung mapapansin nyo yung mga computer or yung kung may mga cellphone kayo, may lalabas na update. So, i-update na yung ating program or dyan yung lalabas yung evolution of system. So, every time na mag-update, mag-evolve yan to bago. Mas mag-improve yan or mas gaganda. Yung maintenance, kung may, ang user may nakitang error na dapat ayusin, so yun yung maintenance, the evolution of system. Every time na mag-upgrade, mag-evolve, or may nakita mga suggestion, or mga gusto dapat i-improve yung system, so pwede dito makikita sa step 5. Then, obsolescence. Kung may napansin kayo yung mga, or a good example nito is yung ating mga cellphone, or yung mga gadget natin. Nung una, sikat yung may mga antenang cellphone. So, ngayon, medyo hirap na siyang hanapin. O yung mga printer. Every time na may mga device tayo, after a few years, magiging obsolete or magiging outdated na. Kaya nga sa program is, may lalabas kapag mag-update sila, may update your software, update natin para hindi siya maging outdated. Kasi kapag outdated niya, hindi na sinusupport ng company, is mahirap nang hanapin mga until mawawala na yan. So, kagaya yung mga printer, yung mga Epson 1110 or ano mga model Epson. So, ngayon is medyo hindi na sila nag-produce. Or, let's say, yung Windows 7. Si Windows 7 is okay siyang gamitin, no? So, tinigil na ni Microsoft yung support niya. Pero, yung ating pwede pa rin natin i-download siya sa internet. Ang kaso nga lang is outdated na siya. So, prone na siya sa mga hacking or whatsoever na mga threat. So, kaya ini-encourage tayo na mag-update ng bagong version. So, again, yung sa obsolescence is yan yung process ng pagiging obsolete. So, yung example, yung device natin or software, hindi na sinusupport until na outdated na siya. So, until di na natin magagamit. So, yun yung obsolescence. So, again, we have analysis, design, then implementation, testing, maintenance, then the updated. So, itong sa obsolescence, guys, hindi natin ito maiiwasan kasi every now and then, mabilis yung phase ng ating technology, mabilis mag-advance. So, ilang buwan lang, bagong system na naman. So, every year, nag-release ng mga bagong model until mag-phase out na yung mga outdate, mawawala na yung mga mga model or yung mga software. So, kasi hindi na sinusupport ng current system or current computer. Kaya ngayon mga may computer dyan, yung mga kapag bumili ka ng computer, yung mga luma, pagbili mo ng mga pesa, yung iba hindi na available kasi obsolete na yung model mo. So, ganun lang yun. So, end of lesson. Dito lang po tayo magtatapos, guys. So, salamat sa panonood. See you sa next video natin.